Splendid beaches. Hey, here's the debauch. It's a tourist beach, oh my. Azure Ocean, $60 to $70 a night. A double room, breakfast included. Then you'll have a nice beach. Palms with no people around. That's how many people see their perfect vacation. But even heaven has its hidden side. When I see what life in the Maldives really looks like, outside the expensive resorts, I get shocked with their double standards. In Norway, they'd screw Coca-Cola company in all their cola holes for making such a mess. But here, it's fine. We shouldn't be surprised with all the microplastic, air pollution, and cancer. How come we have it all? Today, I'll show you what the real Maldives looks like. You know, before the takeoff, they warned everyone against bringing alcohol to the Maldives. If anyone has alcohol with them, they must hand it over before the aircraft doors are locked. The flight from Dubai takes 4 hours, and I'm surprised my plane is nearly empty. I love traveling on empty planes. I can stretch myself out, just like in first class. I can take the whole row, lie down and sleep. Let's talk about the Maldives in general. The Republic of Maldives is located in the Indian Ocean and consists of 26 atolls, or coral-ringed archipelagos. The archipelagos amount to 1,192 islands. All tourist atolls look the same. Small islands with coastal villas, built on the shore or on piles, also containing separate settlements for service staff. Most Maldivian islands are either uninhabited or very low populated. Mafushi is the main tourist island here in the Maldives. It's considered the affordable part of the Maldives. It's located next to Malé. It's one of the most popular islands among the low-budget tourists. The affordable Maldives. They come here instead of Turkey or Egypt, right? Yes, right. Low-budget Maldives cost 40,000 rubles a week or more. Welcome. A billboard boat. And here's Mafushi. Check it out. The first thing they have here is restriction rules. What you must know. No bikinis. No such bathing suits. No transparent gowns. No such items for men, I guess. But shorts are allowed. You can put on shorts. Here are the cafes, of course. You can buy a milkshake here, or a smoothie, or a delicious sandwich. Check out the palms and stuff. Even though the island is considered low cost, it still looks grand because of the snow-white sand, because of the cleaners doing their best. Palms and greenery are all around. Nice hotels are right at the shoreline. It looks pretty well. A night fishing trip. A fishing trip costs $30. $30 for watching the sunset. And they can even cook your haul. Morning fishing also costs $30. Here are the water sports. But look, swimming here is not allowed. It is actually, but with no debauch. Yes. Bathing suits are not allowed. I got it. Everyone has t-shirts on. That's a common beach. They do water sports here, and everyone wears t-shirts. Here are all the local entertainments, right? Water sports, yes. Here are the hotels, right? Right, these are the more expensive ones. How much is such a hotel? $70 or $80 more. Around $100 in general. A night? A night, yes. I see everyone has bathing suits on. A beach where debauch is allowed. You can swim with no t-shirt on. It's considered Maldivian all-inclusive with a kind of Turkish vibe because there are lots of people, including plenty of Russians. It's considered a party island. As for the garbage, there's more garbage there because it has more tourists. There are almost no good beaches left. By the way, the local islanders have lots of restrictions. Say, alcohol is strictly prohibited here. Fortunately, the law loses its power if you go deeper into the sea. The locals invented a new kind of tourist entertainment, booze boats. The local booze market is rather surprising. I don't know if you can see it. There are yachts floating some 100 meters away from the shore. They're called safari boats, right? Yes, safari boats. Out there, people drink alcohol. Small boats come up here, take the booze lovers aboard, and help them unite with alcohol. Do they work only night shifts? What about the daytime? They start at 4 p.m. 4 p.m., okay. Here's our boat. It's wobbling around, wry and uneven. The boat is obviously tipsy. They mainly sell alcohol at the resorts, the fancy island hotels. It costs a fortune there. But if you interact with the locals, you can use a boat to visit a floating bar. All those bars just float some 100 meters away from the shore. And you have everything you need. Well, at least we'll check what they have and how much it costs. Are those booze boats? The boats float here at night. Is that our bar? Perfect. The idea of the boat is rather simple. You go deep into the sea and buy beer, whiskey, rum, and whatnot. You mustn't take your drink on the land, and you can drink it aboard only. But no one really controls it. If you take a couple of beer bottles with you, no one will punish you or ask you any questions.
75.
Yeah.
Okay. And this one?
This one 95.
90. My God. And this one?
This one 105.
I have an excellent view here. A woman's ass, and a bar. Their menu is rather simple. They have the cheapest booze that costs 10 times higher than it should. Wine is $100 to $150 a bottle. The simplest common wine. Whiskey is $200, $300, or $500 a bottle. Also the most common whiskey, cognac, and so on. But they do have everything. Not every local island has such boats. Only Mafushi, Todo, Ukulas, and Hulumale have safari boats. They transfer you to the boat for free. Then you pay either for a full bottle or for a glass. The resorts don't have such restrictions. Alcohol is allowed there. How much is alcohol there? At the resorts, it's, you'd rather take the all-inclusive option there. If you don't, the alcohol prices depend on the resort. But it costs a lot anyway. They usually send it in bottles, like $200 or $300. The prices are higher than on safari boats.
Why can't they sell it here, for example, in the bar, also for tourists?
The thing is, as per the law, you cannot sell alcohol where locals are living. So this is a local island, So we have locals living on the island.
But on the boat, it's okay?
Yes, because there are no locals there. It's the staff who look after the guests, and most of them are foreigners. So where locals are habited, you're not allowed to have alcohol.
Let's see what else the local islands have. There are two separate worlds in the Maldives. The first one is what most tourists see. Snow-white beaches and perfect service, just like in a Bounty commercial. The second world is the true one. It's where the locals live. It's the true life. The backstage the tourists never see. One more Maldivian restriction refers to bikini. You mustn't wear it on the islands for the locals, And in Malé, the capital city, private resorts and tourist beaches don't follow the restriction. But in other areas, women can easily get arrested for a bikini. That's what happened to a British woman on Mafushi Island beach. The policemen were criticized severely for how they treated her. The police claimed the woman was drunk and they had to use force. Why is bikini prohibited? The Maldives are an Islamic country. Islamic rules prohibit nudity and stripping all body parts on beaches, except for feet, hands, and face. You'll never see any revealing bathing suits or suntan outside local resorts.
Maldivian culture is more or less a very Muslim culture. So in our religion, we have these prohibitions, but there are different levels of beliefs. But in the Maldives, we are 100% Muslim.
It's a tourist beach. Oh my. I'd say they stroll around naked in here. Well, almost. Tell me about the beach. In the Maldives, you're not allowed to swim in a bathing suit on the local islands. But there are some areas and beaches where you can wear a bikini. Put on a bikini bathing suit. You can't swim naked. And there are separate islands with bikini beaches. So that's a special beach where you can undress down to a bathing suit, right? Yes, you can undress down to a bathing suit. At the resorts, you can swim everywhere in bikini. How do common beaches look like? On common ones, you can swim with a t-shirt and shorts on. And you can swim in your present clothes, right? I must swim in them, actually. I can change into a crop top, but that's it. I must have my shorts on. What about men? The same, with a t-shirt and shorts on. You mean you can't swim here with no t-shirt on? They actually swim shirtless, but there are signs saying you must have your t-shirt on. Let's have a look at a beach for the locals. That's how a beach for the locals looks like. You see women not only have dresses on, but also their scarves. The local girls, tourist women, have t-shirts on. There are no bikinis, and no debauch on the local beaches. Everything looks rather decent. The locals swim fully dressed, even with their scarves on, and they feel fine. Some beaches for the locals are completely empty in the daytime. Maldivians are very tolerant with tourists. They are also very friendly and very amiable. The tourists can stroll around the local islands with shorts and crop tops on, and it's fine with them. The only thing they ask for is not to come in bikinis to the depth of the island. You can swim and tan in bikini without strolling around. What can possibly go wrong? With the tourists, I mean. When I worked as a guest house manager, we had a bikini beach there. A kind of segmented territory, a separated area. A tourist sat outside the bikini beach area. A tourist from our hotel. Someone came up and said, "It's your tourist, make him leave, or we'll call the police." Some islands have severe restrictions. If you follow them, you'll be fine. Even if someone calls the police, they'll speak politely. They'll just warn you. But they are always tolerant. The locals are not only tolerant, they are rather shy. I met a local woman on the Gulhi Island who agreed to show me her house. That's a usual house, isn't it? Yes. Amazing.
Oh. There's a bedroom. How many people live here?
One family. One family.
One family. How big is the family?
3 kids and husband and wife.
Okay.
How old are this?
What about parents?
This is me parents.
Ah. Here. So, only water?
Yeah, only.
Fish? Vanilla ice cream?
Yeah.
Ice cream and one fish.
Yeah.
And what kind of food you usually eat?
Yeah, food. Yeah, this rice.
Rice? Ah, okay, it's a steamed rice.
Then this curry.
Curry.
Yeah.
And here, fish soup.
Fish soup.
Yes, this one.
Okay.
Putting garlic.
What's your favorite dishes?
Favorite dish, rice and gardia. Rice and gardia.
Rice and garudia, it's a
Fish
fish.
soup. Yes, fish soup.
Ah, so rice and fish soup.
Yeah.
And tebuli fry.
This and leaf, then
Yeah, this is tebuli fry, we call it. This one.
What is this?
Leaf.
leaf.
Ну, листики, я понял.
Yeah, oil this.
Moranga. The superfood.
It looks rather modest. Yes. Some think the Maldives are one large hotel, with its citizens working as service staff for wealthy tourists. But according to the World Bank data, the income of the Maldives is above average. The median income here is around $5.5 thousand a year. That's a little more than, say, in Turkey or Montenegro. The figure gives the Maldives 53rd place in the world, in the upper part of the rating. In Asia, the islands have the 8th place. Economy of the Maldives is highly dependent on tourism. It takes 28% of the country's GDP. The Maldives earn nearly $3 billion a year with tourism. During the pandemic, they found themselves in severe crisis. The Maldives don't have their own fuel. They import it from abroad. It's rather expensive because the Maldives are far away from, well, almost everything. At the same time, the Maldivian government provides free education and health care for its citizens and pays them pensions. The population on the local islands can count from 200 to 500 people. Often there are just several dozens of houses and a school. The situation with hospitals is rather tough. According to UNICEF, all inhabited atolls have first aid stations. Larger islands even have hospitals on them, but they often lack medications. Malé, the Maldivian capital, has only 3 hospitals with modern medical equipment. In case of emergency, they take patients abroad, to India or Sri Lanka. Since 2013, hospital boats have cruised among the Maldivian islands. They have a GP on board who works both as a dentist and as an obstetrician delivering babies. China presented one of the boats to the Maldives. One more boat belongs to India. One more peculiar point of Maldivian family life is marriages and divorces. You may already know the Maldives are the world's wedding center. People make fancy proposals, arrange wedding photo shoots, and spend their honeymoon here. While tourists are arriving at the Maldives to do all that, the locals keep getting divorced. In 2021, the Maldives had the highest divorce rate in the world. Of 1,000 people, nearly 5.5 got divorced every year. Kazakhstan took the 2nd place in the rating. Russia was 3rd. And 4th place went to Belarus. Among 1,000 people in Russia, there are just over 4 divorces. Some may think it's not that much. Are 5.5 divorces among 1,000 people that much? Let me explain the meaning of the data. 1,000 people include both kids and elderly people who don't get married yet or anymore. Let's say it's a half of those 1,000 people. The second half makes 500 people or 250 couples. Not all of them will make a couple or get married, but let's leave it to make it simple. 5.5 couples out of those 250 ones will get divorced annually in the Maldives. In 40 years, that will amount to 220 divorces among 250 couples. It seems everyone in the Maldives should be single. That's certainly not true. The islanders not only get divorced easily, they get married easily also. The thing is, according to Islamic traditions, the divorce procedure is rather simple in the Maldives. Also, polygamy is allowed here. As a result, while you keep getting married and divorced, you add up to the statistics. The divorce situation is currently getting better. In 2002, the Maldives were recorded in the Guinness Book of World Records with the highest divorce rate in their history. They had 11 divorces among 1,000 people. It seems you can travel to the Maldives not only for your wedding, but to get your divorce also.
Like, we don't have the dating period, which is where the sex before the marriage is not allowed. So the dating period is not there, So whether you get to know the girl a little bit later after you get married, and then you realize, okay, we're not a good match. Then of course it's going to break apart, you know. So it's kind of like that.
What about your family? How many wives in your family? Your husband have only one wife?
Yeah, one wife, one husband.
Okay.
And
Why?
3 kids.
3
Two
kids.
sons.
Why only one wife? He don't want or you don't want?
He don't want.
He don't want.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you would like to have one more wife, is it okay for you?
No.
No? Why?
Because only me.
I first moved here to work as a yoga teacher. Then I married a Maldivian man. A Maldivian man, that's interesting. How come you married a Maldivian man? We fell in love. We were co-workers at a resort. We played volleyball together. Then the COVID pandemic started. We spent the pandemic there. We fell in love and went to his island, the farthest northern island in the Maldives. It's called Fulhadhu. There are no tourists, and the life is rather interesting and unusual over there. We got married there. We lived together for 3 years as a married couple. Then we got divorced. After that, I lived on Gulhi Island. Then I moved to the town of Hulhumale, opened my own travel agency, and now I live here. As for the divorce, why is the divorce rate so high? Many people get divorced, yes. The reason is, wait, while I was asking the question, we got our wonderful tom yum. Well, the country is Islamic, you know? People here mustn't live together without getting married. As a result, they are unexperienced in family life. They don't really know each other. When they start living together, they realize they don't match and get divorced. And, you know, the procedure itself is really simple, I'd say. You can easily get divorced, and it's totally fine. People here tend to get married and divorced several times. 3 or 4 times, it's fine. I know lots of local couples who have got divorced and married again 3 or 4 times, all with one and the same person. Hold on, you mean before you got married, you didn't have any relations with your Maldivian husband? Well, I can't say so. The rules are not that severe, are they? So you entered your husband's Maldivian family. Yes, I lived right there in their house. You lived right in their house. They realized you already had relations, didn't they? They did, and that was a problem for them. They pushed us towards marriage because of that. Because that was... Of course, not all Maldivians get divorced, and not all local men want to have several wives. Everyone I talked to claimed they needed only one wife.
Okay, are you married? You have a wife?
No.
Why not? Why not? You're 25.
Not yet.
Well,
Because I'm try to good wife.
good wife. What's a good wife for you?
Like angel, you know. Like angel.
You want a local wife or?
No, I don't like a local.
No. Oh, okay.
Suppose I don't like a local.
Why? What? What the problem is?
Cheating, full of cheating. More than
Cheating. What kind of cheating is?
if she say one boyfriend. No.
Okay, and you think if foreigners they're not cheating for foreign girls?
No. Our religion was based like 15,000 years ago, you know? During those times, there were more women and less men. It is the beginning of the religion. So in order to spread that out, you had these laws. It's not necessary that you have to have the 4. To have the 4, you need to be able to provide for the 4 as well. You as a man need to be able to have 4 wives. It's not a must that you need to have 4 wives, and also the wives has to agree on that. You can't just go like, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this. I got my 4. No, you got to be able to provide for her.
Yeah, I understand.
You got to get her permission, and if it's only possible, only you're supposed to do that. It's you are allowed to, but you don't have to. You know, you have the option for that. So for me, I prefer one. One is good enough.
Finally, I've reached the Maldivian capital. Let's see how life goes in here. My friends, the first thing to shock you in the Maldives are the prices. Oh, those prices. First, I paid $40 at the airport for a tourist SIM card. Oh my, check out the SIM card prices. Why are they so expensive? Tourist SIM cards cost a lot. The Maldives are an expensive country, that's it. 20 gigabytes for $40, amazing. Check out the hotel room. A common 4-star hotel. A shabby, dingy room is $250. Here's my room. It must look fine from a distance as a picture. It seems fine. But look closer, and you'll see everything is filthy and shabby. Here's my bathroom. It's surely not a 5-star hotel. Well, at least it seems clean. Well, that's something. You may think I arrived at a resort with snow-white beaches and splendid excesses, but no. Let me show you something. The view from my window. Good. I have a lounge chair. I can sit back here and look at the rusty roofs and apartment blocks. Here's my sea view. Do you think there's no view? Here it is, the famous Maldivian Sea. And here are the outlines of the splendid Maldivian islands with expensive resorts and magnificent life. But the magnificent life is not for us, my friends. The real life is for us. So, let's see the real Maldives. After the hotel check-in, let's look at the sweet Maldivian life. I'm amazed because the real life in the Maldives is completely different from all the Maldivian fantasies. No place for luxury here. Looks like a common Asian outland, like a small town. In Indonesia or Thailand, you know? A usual one with several large mosques and office buildings. There are no chain hotels in the capital. There are some on the islands, but not in the capital. I'd say I'm surprised. I expected, well, the town is not large. I expected them to invest the money they get from tourism, say, in their infrastructure. They could make the town neat and clean. But no. Well, the town looks tidy. I can't say it's shabby or anything, but the infrastructure is rather simple, with patched roads and broken slabs. The place is a mess. How am I supposed to walk here? Male is the capital of the Republic of Maldives and the largest island in the archipelago. The main infrastructure is located here, like large hospitals, schools, and kindergartens. The Maldivian government also works here. Almost half of the country's population lives in the capital, nearly 250,000 people, of 500,000 in general. That's a common street in Malé, the capital of the Maldives. Lots of scooters are parked here. The street is rather narrow, and the cars often can't pass each other here. But the street looks rather tidy and neat. It feels heartwarming, Asian-ish heartwarming, but I can't walk here. Let's get back to the pavement. The pavement is not so broad either. Old Malé areas feature the local vibes, but the new ones are occupied by the apartment blocks. I'd say they don't look attractive. The paths are unpaved, the construction waste is scattered around. People already started inhabiting the buildings. But there are too many cars in the capital. I had to jump away so that they don't run me over. I haven't criticized anything for a long time now. I have something to say. I can't get why I'm in Malé now. It's the capital and the main city. The island it's located on is rather small. You can get anywhere. My hotel is in the center, and I can get anywhere on foot. It's like 10-15 minutes walk, a short distance. even for a kid or an elderly person. But everyone uses cars or scooters. And they have nothing made for walkers. No pavements, parking lots all around. Your island is so small. What about the pedestrian areas? The pavements? Let people go on foot. Or use bicycles at least. But no, everyone rides scooters. The scooters use fuel. They are stinky and noisy. They should use electric scooters, like in China, to keep it low. You see, there are no pavements. Scooters keep speeding by. It feels wicked. They lack pedestrian culture to make walking more pleasant. Try honking at me. They call a taxi to go some 500 meters. Taxi is rather cheap here. It's like several dollars for a drive. I'm walking along the narrow pavement, and here it is. A car stopped to unload, and everyone's honking at it. Why are you honking? You can't pass it anyway. Even though Gulhi Island is mainly inhabited by the locals, it still has several low-budget tourist hotels. Are those the hotels? Yes. You can rent a room in such a hotel and it'll be $60, $70 a night. Breakfast included, bed, breakfast, and AC. A double room, breakfast included. With AC, of course. And you'll get, let's have a look. A wonderful beach, littered with construction waste. You clearly can't swim safely here. Because look at the sea. There are some rusty fittings, waste and whatnot. It all ends up in the sea. Swimming here is clearly unsafe. People living in the guest houses for $60 a night get $60 sea included. I talked to the locals about the cost of life in the Maldives.
So what about money? How much you get in a month?
For me, like almost $200 something.
$200 in a month?
Yeah.
Is it enough? Or
No,
not?
it's
Not enough?
enough.
How much is the rent, the transport? How much do you spend? The rent is very expensive. It's $750. But that was a great offer I found. It was empty. I bought the furniture myself. How large is that? It's a studio. A studio? A small one? It's around 47 square meters. So it's a tiny studio. For $750, and you were lucky to find it. I was lucky to find it, yes. My upstairs neighbors are currently renovating. I don't know why, but in the Maldives, people can move in when the house is not finished yet. Yes, so I have to deal with their repairs. My apartment faces the road, a busy one, and it's very noisy because it has no sound insulation. Those are the problems. The average rent for a nice furnished apartment is nearly $1,000. $1,000 is the average price. Better apartments cost more, or you can find a worse one. It's about furnished apartments. How much do you spend for food? For food, well, when I do grocery shopping, I spend nearly 250 rufias at a time. 250 rufias, yes. Chicken is 100 rufias. A kilo? A kilo, yes. Groceries are expensive because they are mainly imported. Besides imported groceries, the Maldives have their own goods. That's what the local menu mainly consists of. The traditional Maldivian cuisine has nothing to do with the European dishes they serve in the splendid hotels. The local food consists of three main products: fish, coconuts, and rice. The main local fish is tuna. They fry it, boil it, and make tuna flakes and paste. They even eat coconut tuna for breakfast. This is not only about love. They don't really have a choice in the Maldives. Almost all goods are imported, except for the local food. According to the UNO data, 90% of food and beverages are imported here, mainly from the UAE, Singapore, and Sri Lanka. They mainly import potatoes, onions, and chicken. I hear they cost more than local tuna. Let's have a look at the local shops and markets. At the fish market, they mainly sell tuna. plenty of it. Tons of it. They sell it here and clean it over there. You buy fish and have it cleaned here, right? Right. It's handy. There's something other than tuna. Are those imported vegetables? Nothing grows here, right? Something does. Small mangoes grow here, tiny ones. And tiny watermelons. The Maldivians are tiny, their islands are tiny, and the rest is tiny too. What do we have here? The cucumbers must be local. The carrots and eggplants are imported, right? Yes, imported, okay. Potatoes, onions, plenty of food we have here. Are the bananas local? They are, the tiny ones. That's also the local food. It's mainly spicy. Here are the local bananas and papaya. That's a tiny mango, isn't it? Yeah, it's a Maldivian mango. Does it taste like a common one? This one is green. You should wait till it turns yellow. It has lots of, how's it called? The tiny stuff getting stuck in your teeth. I got it. How do they eat it? Just like apricots or what? They eat it unpeeled. Is it 100 local money for one of those? It's 100 rufias for a kilo. A kilo? 1 kilo, yes. 100 rufias for a kilo. How much are the vegetables? Well, it depends, but they are rather expensive. Hold on, are those ripe? They are ripe, yes. But they are already overripe. Look, local watermelons. Here are the local coconuts. Yes, local coconuts and the small watermelons are also local.
Sorry, how much watermelon? 21 kilo.
It's nearly 1.3. $1.3 a kilo? Yes, that's a lot. And it's local, right? Yes. We bought yummies at the market. It's $1.35. $1.35 for coconut yummies, Wonder Nuts, and some triangle tuna things. Those are local goods, right? Yes. Here are the coconut chips. Amazing. I'm gonna try everything. It's all about tuna. Yes, tuna is the main food. Okay, let's go. I'll try some before buying. Spicy, isn't it? It's spicy. First, it's really spicy. Second, it's really... well, it reminds me of bread. Where can I put it? I want to get rid of it. They went out to enjoy the beauty. Okay. Looks marvelous. Here's milk. A carton of milk is 24. Here's some special milk. It's 38. A carton of juice is 25. Here's more expensive apple juice for 38. Passion fruit and pomegranate juice for 48. It costs more. It's 48. Cornflakes are 60. Butter is 70. The Anchor butter. Here's expensive butter for 90. This butter is 90. Onions are 22. Half rotten, crooked potatoes are 18. Let's try the local snacks. I was recommended to buy 3 weird things at the market. The first thing is nuts. What nuts? No one knows or remembers the name of the nuts. None of our small team does. That's how they look like. What do they taste like? They are really expensive, by the way. The small package costs 60 local rufias. Right, it's 60 local rufias. They taste like apricot kernels. I wouldn't think of paying... I'm telling you, they're like non-edible kernels, not like nuts. The next one. The next is... Hold on, I have to chew them. Here is the beautiful pink sunset. Okay, the next one. Tuna triangles. They look delicious. When I saw them, I wanted to try them. That's my package, containing the wonderful triangles. They look delicious. I'll try to be non-judgmental. They don't taste like tuna. They are pretty spicy. Okay, they are awfully spicy. Fine. I dropped it and don't have to finish it. Yes, they are really spicy. They taste like some fish flakes, and they are over-fried. I saw them selling the same in balls. They are pretty over-fried, and they don't even taste like fish. It's just like deep-fried dough with some tuna leftovers inside. As a dessert, I have those amazing... Yes, right. They are telling me.
Yes, yeah. You know what it is?
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, of course.
You like it? You can take.
Can I have it?
Yeah, dude.
You guys can have it.
I already tried. I just bought it for try, yeah.
We'll try on it. Okay.
Okay, we have those wonderful sticks. They look like chicken sausages. Yes, it's sweet like Soviet treats. I love it. It's delicious. I'm jealous of myself for eating such yummy stuff. A guy here is too shy to look into the camera, but he's nibbling at the tuna and dust triangles, and he's happy. A heron just gobbled up a fish. Let's give the local food another try, at a restaurant this time. All right, what do we have here? It's called mashuni. It's fish and coconut. A fresh chopped coconut. Fish, tuna, fish and coconut. Try it. They usually eat it for breakfast. Smells like, well, tuna. It is tuna, like tuna and onions, and coconut. They eat it for breakfast, right? Yes. So you take a scone, yes, then you take a part of it like that, and do like that. I took a large one. Like that. Use your fingers, and you put it in your mouth. You like it? Yes. One more peculiar point is the absence of cars. There are no car dealers in the Maldives, so you have to buy a car abroad and take it here. It's complicated, long, and expensive. To bring a car from America, you have to pay up to $5,000. Then there's the import duty. That can be as much as the car price. People mainly drive cars in the capital, although there are still more scooters than cars. As for the small islands, a boat is the main vehicle there, because they have more oceans than roads. We've already seen the local islands, and it's time to talk about tourism. It's also less perfect than the azure Maldivian sky. Tourist business is very profitable and competitive in the Maldives. The local government even has to protect its citizens in the battle for workplaces. According to the Maldivian laws, 50% of workplaces in the tourist field must go to the locals. In 2020, the government introduced tourist job courses for the locals. Now, Maldivians mainly become gardeners, housekeepers, or dishwashers. Many locals claim they can't get manager jobs, for no reason at all. Employers simply prefer foreigners. Of course, some resorts hire Maldivians for better positions, but those are exceptional cases. Employers say the locals don't have the skills to work with tourists. They either speak poor English or don't speak it at all. They often can't cook European dishes. The locals also can't deal with alcohol and can't work as barmen. According to the employers, Moldavians often quit when they want. So, it's more safe to employ a foreigner who will work for a year at least. You worked at the hotel for a year. Yes, a year at the resort. At the resort. Who works there? Who's in the staff? What do locals and foreigners do? Is there any discrimination? The locals mainly work as villa hosts. You mean they clean villas? As cleaners, yes, or as waiters. Some Maldivians work as managers. Can they take such jobs? Yes, sure. Not a few. There are many of them. There's even a female manager. If they have both a Maldivian and a foreign candidate for one position, who will they take? The one who knows the job better, I guess. They take care of your professional skills more than your nationality. What do Maldivians think of them mainly doing dirty jobs? I wouldn't say they do dirty jobs. They want to take a job and apply for it. That's not a dirty job for them, to clean a villa. A villa host takes care of a villa. That's a good and earnest job. How much do they earn at the resorts? What's their salary? They get good salaries. A villa host can earn $1,000 or more. The service fee is rather high here. It can be $500, $1,000, or even $2,000. A villa host can even earn nearly $2,300. Why is there such a difference between resort and non-resort employees? I just talked to a guy and he earns $200 working with tourists, swimming or something. The reason is that resorts are considered high-level places. Their prices are very high. Their service fee is rather high. And their employees also earn good money. Does everyone dream of working at a resort? The locals, I mean? Well, not exactly dream. Many prefer to remain on their island, stay close to their families. They don't dream of it. They just choose this path. They choose to study hospitality. They have this course at schools. They choose tourism. They start studying it at school. Yes, they even have internships. At school, they can take internship at a resort and start their career to end up as a manager. Resort staff mainly lives right here. Villas are located at the shore, and employees live in the staff area, in the middle of the island. The area is not large, but they usually have swimming pools, cafes, and bars, together with all basic conveniences. The Maldives attract not only tourists and workers. According to the US government's data, the country takes lots of refugees, mainly from India and Bangladesh. According to the diplomatic data, nearly 50,000 of migrants arrived here illegally. In the Maldives, illegal immigrants often get enslaved. According to the US Department of State, the refugees are employed against their will and deprived of passports and travel cards. Some don't get salaries and end up in debts. Migrant women from Sri Lanka, China, and Thailand are enforced to become sex workers. The government establishes shelters for migrants who manage to get away from slavery, but that doesn't solve the problem of human traffic. Where do the migrant workers come from? Mainly from Bangladesh, India, and Sri Lanka. Migrants from these three countries mainly work on the islands. They work as service staff in hospitals and schools. As for the resorts, the Maldives are a country with wide diversity of various nationalities. The staff there is multinational, from South Africa, Russia, Great Britain, the USA, Germany, the Netherlands. When you arrive at a resort, you meet people from all over the world. What do locals think of migrants, say from Bangladesh or India? They realize it's a problem. Many Maldivians realize it. People from Bangladesh take lots of jobs, and Maldivians remain unemployed. The inflow of migrants and tourists causes lots of problems. The more people arrive at the Maldives, the more littered and filthy the islands get. Looks nice. Not a single girl here, by the way. Workers only. They are going to the garbage island to work. They recycle garbage on the island. All the garbage from other islands goes there. As you see, the ferry, tourists don't go there, only workers do. The Maldives takes nearly 750,000 of tourists annually. That number may seem small, but for the islands 8 times smaller than Moscow, that's a lot. Such influx of people results in the Maldives drowning in garbage. It's more than 860 tons of garbage a day. The garbage is mainly plastic bottles, boxes, and straws. There's so much garbage in the Maldives, they had to choose an island to store it. As you can see, that's not a place of heaven. The island is called Tilafushi. Once it was a common island. In 1992, the Malay government decided to use it as a garbage station. Now Tilafushi is known as a garbage island. Nearly 330 tons of garbage come here daily. The main problem is, not only bottles and wrappings go here, the ex-lagoon contains plenty of toxic stuff, like oil barrels, lead, and other harmful metals. They seep into the water and poison the sea inhabitants. The garbage that doesn't go to the island is burnt in the open. The toxic fumes are harmful for both locals and tourists. Birds and small rodents finish the remaining microplastic. The government takes various measures to cope with the garbage problem. Since June 1, 2022, the government has prohibited the production, import, and usage of bottles, straws, and other plastic items. In fact, the government wants to build a waste recycling plant in the Maldives. It's supposed to convert garbage into electric power. The construction site is over there, but it's still just a fence and a billboard. Oh, here it is. Get in there. Will we sit in the bed? Yes, it's fine. In there, right? Someone built a new sports ground here. That's how a non-tourist part of the Maldives looks like. If someone has a nice vacation somewhere, others have to take care of their shit. Of all the tourist shit. Most garbage goes to the nice island. In fact, they are supposed to recycle it. At least the ads state that. Ecology-friendly approach is in now, you know? Recycling and stuff. It doesn't look like they care much about recycling or steady development here. It smells like shit, and it looks rather lame. I mean, the garbage is right at the shoreline, you see? And with that smell, I guess they burn it here too. That's how the Maldivian backyard looks like. Amazing.
Hi. Can I have a look? Where are you from?
All right, I see. That's where they recycle waste.
Hi. What are you doing here?
India.
You are from India? Okay. And what are you doing?
Working.
Russia. You live here? And you work here?
India.
From which part of India? What state? Delhi, Mumbai, Kerala?
UP, India.
UP.
Yes.
Okay.
Yogi.
That's one of the recycling sites. The garbage here looks kind of sorted out. Here's glass. It's already powdered. Here, they sort out the garbage they can sell. Here's the pressed plastic and metal. They choose the garbage they can sell, sort it out, and send it to recycling, I guess. They store it here. Then someone like India or China buys it. and takes it to recycling. The garbage they can't sell remains here. It either gets burnt or goes into the sea. I can tell by the smell they burned something here. I can smell it. My camera and me caused a sensation here. The workers came outside because they don't get visitors often. Oh, here's the main dump site. I was wondering about the smell. The huge garbage mountain contains the non-recyclable waste. You see, they sort out the proper garbage, mostly plastic. Then they press it, collect it, and take it away from the island. And the rest, liquids, cans, lots of cans here. Crude oil, fuel, oils, they remain here. That's how a dump site looks like. Speaking of the recycling process, the garbage that they can't sell just remains here, making up a waste mountain. That's what happens to various oils, fuels, and God knows what else they have here. They just drain it down the ground. They obviously try to pump or sort something out. Here are some barrels. The sight is horrid, I'd say. It's not something you'd expect to see in the Maldives. Nothing like the heaven. According to the local dweller, each island has a council responsible for the atoll's life. They also control the garbage issues, but their way of solving them is rather dubious. Back then, they used to dump waste from the island right into the iron cage, for sharks and rays to swim up there, and for the tourists to have fun. It was also useful for the fishermen, as the food scraps attracted plenty of fish. But the scraps polluted the ocean. An activist from the island, our island, claimed the scraps polluted the ocean. They stopped dumping waste into the ocean. Instead, they collected it in a boat, went far into the ocean, and dumped it there. If they want to build a waste recycling plant, they'll have to create a separate artificial island for that, because even the locals lack ground on the Maldives. I doubt they'll do that. If you think you can find garbage on separate islands only, that's not so true. My trip to the Maldivian Coca-Cola island proved that. My friends, I arrived at Tulustu Island to see the world's only Coca-Cola plant that uses desalinated water. The company has worked on the island for more than 30 years. It's the only supplier of Coca-Cola, Sprite, Fanta, and Banaqua in the Maldives. The plant can produce more than 9 million liters of beverages annually. That's equal to 4 Olympic pools of soda. So all that Maldivian Coca-Cola, Banaqua, Sprite, Fanta, and so on are manufactured here, at this plant. The Coca-Cola company provides not only beverages, but also jobs for the locals. Nearly 1,400 people live on the island, and more than 100 of them work here. Here's an interesting point. They have factory tours here. You can have a look at the manufacturing process. It's more or less common. If you have once seen beverages manufacturing, here it looks the same. First, they produce a bottle. Then, they dilute the syrup with desalinated water and pack it up. Everything is automated. I have no idea what these 100 people do here. Most are support staff, like cleaners, I guess, because the production line is fully automated. If you pass or swim by, you can take a tour. It's free, but filming is not allowed. You're not allowed to even use your phone, because it's a special covert facility. The problem of the nice Tulustu Island is that it's easy to get in here, but not so easy to leave. Boats seldom come here, once in 3 or 4 hours. If you arrive in the morning, you can only leave at midday, or you can rent a private boat. It costs 4,000 rufias, or more than $200. Not cheap. Let's wait for the local shuttle. Here, Coca-Cola sponsored the water supply. Drinking water. Here's a water tap. In fact, I think Coca-Cola could think of something better, like a tiger's head spewing out water. The tap looks like it provides processed water in a toilet. They skimped on the Tulustu locals. I hear there are people collecting Coca-Cola beverages. They can even tell Coca-Cola produced somewhere like Australia, from European or American Coca-Cola. Maybe I should have tried the local cola, but I remembered I don't drink it. You tried it, didn't you? Let's ask Anna. Anna, you're an expert. We found someone who tried local cola. Does it differ from the foreign cola? I didn't feel any taste difference. Even with the desalinated water it contains, yeah, I didn't notice any difference. It's the same. Let's explore the island further. Welcome to my beloved littered slums. You may think the Maldives have the only garbage island they don't take care of, and the rest of them are haven places. But no way. Nearly each island, not taken by a single resort, has dump sites. That's how it looks like. No place for miracles in here. That's one of the many dump sites. Looks like here's the sea, here are the nice jungles, and here's the dump site. Let's see what's burning. It's plastic. Plastic, plastic, plastic. Various waste. That's not like smoldering grass. Here's Banaqua they produce here. All the plastic bottles. Everything Coca-Cola produces here ends up burning. How many Banaqua bottles are in here? They burn them all. Everything. Right in the open. They don't sort it out or anything. That's totally bullshit. All those tourist fairy tales like, we take care, we sort everything out, we make sure it's nice, well-developed, and ecology-friendly. That's how the backstage of Maldivian heaven looks like. A smoldering dump site on nearly every island, with local dwellers. It looks like they recycle 5 to 10% of it. The rest goes into the forest. I arrived on a paradise island and expected to smell roses. But no. Now I smell like dump sites and burnt plastic. More waste forests over here. You see, they don't need something anymore and simply dump it. A kind of construction here. Old boats rot in the forest too. Everything's overgrown. All the islands with local dwellers have it, don't they? Each island has a dump site. Each island has a dump site. Here's a Coca-Cola from the local plant. It was produced here and dumped here. The local plant workers claim they recycle it all, that everything's fine and reusable. The plant is 1 kilometer away, and they take it all to the forest and simply dump it here. After that, it either rots for ages or gets burnt. It goes, yes, it was produced right here, by Coca-Cola right here on this Maldivian island, at the Maldivian Coca-Cola plant. Some may say they will deal with it later, but there's plenty of grass and cobweb over it. Lots of plastic bottles are just piled up in the forest. I doubt they'll ever take them away for recycling. That's what the tourists don't see. The reaction of some people keeps surprising me. I posted photos of local waste sites on Instagram with the caption, "That's how heaven backstage looks like, the side tourists don't see. That's how the real life in the Maldives looks like." Some people commented on it angrily like, "A pig can find mud anywhere. Ilya, are you searching through your beloved trash again? You're like a fly. Each city has it." My friends, I'd like to ask you something. Are you kidding me? First, I'm sure you mustn't ignore the shit that goes on. Some may not care about it, but I do. I care about the air I breathe, about the water I drink, about the sea I swim in and the food I eat. When I see what life in the Maldives really looks like outside the expensive resorts, I get shocked with their double standards. What's wrong about that? The problem is there are lots of migrant workers in here because the country can't deal with so many tourists. They make the tourists pay, but the money seems to go somewhere else. The service staff consists of migrants from Bangladesh, India, or Sri Lanka. And as you see, the migrants don't give a damn about the local ecology. They don't care about clean water or air. They just don't think about that because it's temp work. They come here to earn money. Tomorrow, they'll be kicked away or just leave. But the waste will remain here.
This looking the dry fish. Dry fish.
Dry fish?
Dry fish, yeah.
Hey.
Dry fish.
Dry fish. Where are you from?
Well, Sri Lanka exporting.
From Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Export.
You work here?
No, my friend.
Your friend works. Okay. How are you?
Fine.
Can you have a look?
Yeah, I can look.
Here, they pack dried fish. Here's the fish. That's what it looks like. I have no idea how they use it further. It doesn't look delicious. Here are the packages. Talking about the island, special waste site, there is a place where they collect all the garbage from all houses, restaurants, coffee shops, and guest houses. They also burn it there. They burn it every day. And there, in that part of the island, where they do it, the rent is very cheap. The locals live there. There are no hotels, because the smell is rather distinct. It turned out they do take the garbage on Tolosdu only before large events, like a surfing competition. The island I live on is famous for surfing competitions. World-class champions compete here. If you look at the island from above, to the south, you'll see a smaller one. It's separated from the main Tolosdu. Before the competition started, the smaller island contained plenty of garbage, like plastic items or flip-flops. People came there to look at the waves and dumped their garbage right over there. The island was littered all over. But you know, before the competition, it took place in June this year, I presume, or maybe in July. They cleaned the island, laid new pathways, even constructed a viewpoint to look at the surfers. The president came there to see the results, and he liked it. Yes, they can do something very useful and pleasant before such big events. Let's have a look at the tourist island Mafushi and compare them. Do they have garbage there too? My friends, I spent 2 days in the Maldives, and let me share my feelings with you. The country is amazing. I didn't want to come here at first. The Maldives were one of the several countries I haven't visited yet. I put off the trip for a long time. I was sure the trip would be incredibly dull and boring. I hate the lazy beach holidays. I had no idea what to do here. Finally, I arrived here, and it turned out the Maldives are a very interesting country. The point is, it combines fantastic luxury. You know, 7-star hotels, with celebrities spending $5,000 a night, with wealthy people relaxing here. It's combined with a simple life, with people living for $200 a month, with garbage and no roads, living a simple life. These two worlds live side by side, and both of them are fine with that. It's incredibly interesting. My friends, if you agree with me and want to learn more, like the video. It's rather easy. Click the tiny button below. The more likes, the nicer YouTube gets. YouTube realizes you love such videos and starts spreading my videos actively. Please post this video on Reddit and share the link to your friends via WhatsApp. Click like. Not all of you did that yet. I'll wait. That's it.